Oh, we're live.
That's novel. Okay. Hello.
We're
It's
live.
me. It's me, P.G.M. and P.G.M. Standup. Hello. Welcome to my guests. My friend, not my guests, really. These are my friends, right? Gotta say, friends. Guests, like Shabby's been saying all week. Let's have some guests on. But really, they're friends, Shabby. So there you go.
Eye candy. That's what
I
they
can
are.
be. Thanks for actually joining me and friends. Sai Megafandanga Richardson. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, P.G.M. I am fine, thank you.
We have Stu, the Universal's toy collector. How are you, Stu?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me, P.G.M.
Yeah,
Thank
a
you.
little bit last minute, but we won't split
cheers.
We won't split hairs because Stu hasn't got any. Right, there we go. Right. Sorry. Keith, how are you, mate? This is my Keith Knight joining us tonight. How are you, sir? How are you?
Chaps.
Hello, Keith.
I'm all right, mate.
There will be a small little lag.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Yeah.
See all me muckers.
Yeah, a little bit of Keith's getting a little bit of a lag because I don't know, atmospherics, who knows, but yeah, but so bear with us all. Shabby, you used to be on everybody's stream lately, and how are you?
I'm very famous. I can't help myself. I'm giving the people what they want. I'm giving the people what they want, which is more shabby. So
More Shabby, yes.
yeah.
Anyway, this is Restream. It's not StreamYard. It's Restream. So it's
Everything's different. Everyone's cameras are different and everything on this. Do you know what I mean? It's because usually
all
when you have
mirrored.
somebody on,
You're all
yeah,
mirrored.
everyone's.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Everyone's mirrored,
Yeah.
right?
You can sort that out if you go into settings, Shabby.
Yeah, I'm not pressing any buttons. yeah. Oh,
everything's a little bit different. Yes, Restream is a different streaming platform. It's actually don't want to go into the details, but it's actually cheaper for me, and because StreamYard is bloody expensive. Over here, it's $85 for a month, and I'm not paying that. So it's incredibly expensive. This Restream is quite good. I'm just getting used to it, so it is actually
it looks good, yeah,
as well. So
Yeah.
I'm playing around with it. Tonight or today for me, because I'm in this part of this hemisphere. You may think this is really weird, but I'm doing a recap show, and I've only been on stage stand up only for a month. 2 months. But I wanted to share, and this is what this channel is. I wanted to share. Keith popped up again. I wanted to share with you, friends of mine, what I've been doing. Right.
Okay.
And the 3 videos I will be showing again because I think Stu's seen them. So
I have.
All right. So, but you haven't seen my latest one because everybody gets busy, of course, and their lives. So, so the recap show is basically it. That's the explanation. Can't be more simply than that.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I need another coffee so I can wake up.
I think I need something stronger than water, P.G.M. Bloody hell.
So this stream is. I don't come with any questions. It's not a question and answer. It's not a quiz. It's a slight joke on Stu's behalf.
Really? Yeah,
it's missed. It's gone. Yeah, it's missed.
It's straight over your head, Pete. Straight over your head.
And so it's all, and so it was just like it's a blossoming, fantastic, beautiful big bill.
Right, got it.
On the conversation. So it's, so yeah.
Oh, Kitty, come back.
So, everybody knows that yes, I'm trying to be a stand-up comedian, and try is the correct word underlined. I will say this: I'm having fun. I'm going to mention this now because let's get it out in the open. That I was having a discussion with. I'm going to put this out there because I think it's funny. I bombed absolutely freaking big time on Monday, and I quite quite enjoyed it actually. Big time.
Oh, good.
I got taught to you don't come off stage when you do this and you don't piss and moan. Okay, you just don't say anything, right? You laugh about it, you laugh it off, right? So, or you just leave the room like I did. And I did. I left the room, 2 rooms. I left the whole frickin' bar actually. I on Monday night here in the Fringe bar, I got a placement place on doing my 5-minute set. So I was all geared up to do it. Okay, and I was going to have fun doing it, but I was getting really, really, absolutely nervous. I'm going, where is this?
Can I just ask why? Why was you getting nervous? You've done it before. It's not like it's the first time you've been on stage, P.G.M.
I know. I'll get there. So,
I'm sorry. Carry on.
I actually
just wait a week until he gets there, Stu. It'll be about a week. He'll get there, right? He'll get there.
Can I just go and get in bed and tell this story? I'll just go get tucked and then
if you've got 2 or 6 hours, you bear with me. It's like the Hobbit story all over again, right?
No, it's not that long.
So, but it's to answer the question. I don't know where this panic and this and this nervousness came from, Stu. To be quite honest with you, I just did not know. I thought I would be fine. I thought I would go through the set. I knew my set. And here I was at the Fringe bar on Monday, rearing to go. Was talking with my mates on the green room with different comedians. I was on the second half, so I had to wait for the other 5 to go up, the first 5 to go up, and then the break. All right, and then I would go up. Second, I was on second half.
Right.
Okay, so I was waiting there. Second half turned up. The first comic on the second half went up, finished. I got up there, and fuck me. It was like an out of body experience. I was looking at myself on stage,
Right,
laughing at me, going, "What the fuck are you doing? Where is your set gone?" I completely, utterly froze. It was like a deer in the headlights. It was fucking hilarious because I just forgot everything. Right? It was like watching your fucking 2 train wrecks and a 3rd train coming towards the second and the first train. Right? I just went blank. I said, I tried to get my set back. No avail. I said, fuck this. I said, okay, thanks, me. Good night. I didn't even do 5 minutes.
You didn't say anything.
Right? I didn't do 5 minutes. I did 3.5. 3.5 fucking minutes, right? So, and what was hilarious is that I walked out of the green room where everybody was stunned minutes, going, hang on, he didn't even do 5 minutes. What are we going to fucking do? Right? I walked out with a cheesy grin on my face. Walked out of the green room and walked right out of the fucking bar, going, bye. It's just like, fuck, where was my brain? What the fuck was my brain gone? It's like, mind you, I came home and I gave myself a very, very, very severe tongue lashing. I can tell you that.
What, you can actually do it yourself, can you?
Man,
Should have
yes,
used that joke.
I can, but the thing was that if you don't bomb occasionally, right, you don't learn, right? Or the fact is that I enjoyed it, so I'm going to make this into a fucking set itself, right? So I
It does though. When things like that, I remember doing the first ladies' night, the first one, and I invited all the girls on, and like I said, I spoke to all these girls for years. It's not as if I just, I'm, getting all the questions ready and getting them all on, and it wasn't until I had all 9 of them on my screen, and I thought, oh shit, do you know what I mean? And I got it. I was like, I froze a little bit, like. Because it's all right when you have the lads on, whatever, it's easy to do and the thing. But when it had all these women on together, and I thought, oh no, but we got through it.
Yeah,
what's that? I can't read that.
Pete,
right. What's that saying?
Pete, can I just
yeah. Yep.
the fact, Pete, can I just ask you a question? if you're gonna as your next stand-up set, you do realise you've got to fit it all into 5 minutes, right? I mean, you've got to try and fit all that shit you just said into 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
Well, it's all going to be.
Learn to speak. Learn to speak really, really. Learn to speak really, really fast. You're gonna have to rap it or something like that. Do it to rap music.
Yeah, I get that. It will be only 5 minutes. The thing is that I want it kind of to be a little bit more free flowing, because when I got up there, when you've actually seen, and you'll see tonight, right? My first graduation, right? It was like a performance. There was a setup, punchline, right? So, and that performing sense of, and when you listen to comedians, right, they're pretty free flowing, right? They talk to the audience like a conversation, like we're having now, right? And then add their punchlines into the joke, right? So, and that's where I'm not coming from. I'm coming from a performance. I was going to say performance issue, because it was.
I've had plenty of performance issues.
Yeah,
especially at my age.
You get to a certain age, mate. Yeah.
The word strong devoke have gone from Shabby's.
Yeah, sorry about the font. I'll try a different font next time. Just thought this.
That's okay. I still can't read it, sir.
Yeah. I'm the same, Stu. I can't. Without your glasses, it's a nightmare.
No.
Can you read that, Si?
Yeah. He said he probably couldn't fit the last one in, Georgie.
What?
Oh.
Wow. Hang on, what?
But no, it's I listen to these comics, right, on Monday night, and the well-known comics, right? They tell a story, and that's where I want to be, is telling a story, but free-flowing, like a natural conversation. And my style at the moment, it's not a natural conversation. It's just like set up, tag, punchline, right? Set up, tag, punchline. So it's hard to explain. So I need to stylize and like a conversation, like I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be, Keith. Yeah, I will be writing that kind of stuff down and making 5 minutes instead of 3.5. But I mean, if I don't kind of learn from this, and take the piss out of myself for doing this, right, I won't get up there again. So I need to just laugh at it, make it a set, right, and so I can continue with it, right?
I
So
100% agree. It's like I mean, I've never done stand-up comics, so I can't say it. But us lads that do live streams, you'll know, Stu. Sometimes you'll have one that goes flawlessly, and then sometimes you have one you think, oh fuck, but you don't let it deter you. You just carry on.
No, you don't. It's like I say, the first live stream I ever did. Bearing in mind, I'd not been on YouTube that long at all. I thought I set a live stream up. I advertised it.
Oh, I remember this with Scooby. Yeah,
When it went, no, not with Scoob, not with Scoob. This was the very first one that I did.
Oh,
and then
right.
And then I was on for 2 minutes. There's no one in the chat, and I was like, oh, fucking waste of time, this, isn't it? So I turned it off and then just deleted it all. And I was like, well, what the bloody hell was all that about? So but that one with Scuba when he oh shit, when he didn't turn up that night, I was like, oh, fucking hell. I was on my own. And I was
I'm talking about the one where your thing didn't work and you were going,
oh my god, yeah. Like, oh yeah, bless him. So I thought I was off screen, but because I was echoing, I could hear myself chatting all the time, and I was like, "Oh, Pete, I can't do it, Pete, I can't do it. It sounds awful." And I could hear myself in my like coming back. And I was like, "Oh no, sod this." So I come off screen, thinking that he couldn't hear me or anything like that, and I'm trying to get stuff set up, and I was like, "Oh, this fucking thing, this effing this, and this fucking piece of shit and stuff like that." Pete was sitting there going, yeah, okay, well, and he could hear everything, and everybody could hear everything.
Yeah, we could.
What the issue was I had my phone here with the camera on, and it was the volume was turned up on the phone. That's why I could hear myself echoing. So when I turned my phone off, it went, and then as soon as I turned it back on again, it came back again. I was like, oh, brilliant, yeah. These things happen. I was going to call you Scuba then. These things happen, Pete. But there you are.
Yeah, well, they've actually happened on stage as well, that when you're performing, it's like Georgie said, that you forget your lines. So
well, I mean, shit, the first time I did a musical show, there's always one like song that really gets you with a high note. And bearing in mind this was my first show, and I was like, oh, here we go. And in rehearsals it was going all right, and I thought, okay, that'll do. Anyway, it was the first night, and it's come to this show, and I went to hit my note, and it went like that. And I heard someone in the audience go, "Oh," like that. And I just thought, fucking hell, awful. Yeah. Awful. But you got to carry on. You just otherwise, like you say, if you don't get back and do it the next day or whenever, you never get back and do it. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. How did you feel, Si, when you first started doing it? Because you're not a show off like me at all. You're not a. You know what I mean? So when you started doing the streams, were you nervous and stuff like that when you first started?
No, because I think I've been in this community for about 3.5 years before. In 2010, I did YouTube. I had a YouTube channel, and it was called Obi-Wan Si 75. That's what it was called. Yeah. And it was just going around the field and looking at graffiti art and local artists, comic book work. It was nothing to do with toys or Star Wars or anything like that. It was all about artwork. And I realised after 192 videos, I am so wooden. I just can't do this. It was like looking at bad holiday clips of artwork and me just pointing at them, and it was just awful. Do you know what I mean? So I took it all off. I took my channel down, took everything off, and I said to myself there and then, it's not for me. Well, then you come into this community.
You about that, sorry, because you said about the way you sounded. You didn't like the way you sound.
No, I just sounded like such a pleb. It was like, hello, welcome to the Obi-Wan Si channel. Yeah. Today I'm in Blackpool, and this is that's how I sounded, Stu. Like a Powell and Sags.
Like a Powell and Sags, brilliant.
Yeah, so I sounded. So I knew there and then. But again, to answer your question, I came into this community, and it took me about 3.5 years to come online and to do stuff. But by the time this had happened, everyone's my friend by then. I've been on a few meetups. I've been in people's, chats and stuff, and I've met people in the flesh. So it was more when you lot say meet your mates down the pub on a Friday for a chat. That's how it felt for me coming in these streams. It just felt like I'm just with everybody I know. We're gonna have a good chat about things I'm interested in. So I wasn't really like intimidated, if you like me. I wasn't like.
Did it feel natural for you, Si? Did it feel natural for you?
Again, I suppose it did because of you lot making it feel natural. Like you know, Shabby Geek, he's a dab hand at all this, and he's been like this forever. And I haven't had to do much talking when I've got a twin brother like Mark, because I've always left Mark to it. If you like me, I've been happy to sit back and go, Mark can do all the artwork.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, even today, like with all the, I mean, I wouldn't set up a YouTube channel now or do any of all this. But again, you know, my twin brother lives thousands of miles away. It's a chance me and him can really have a good chat and catch up and stuff. And we love having a laugh and taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? So I enjoy doing it. Yeah.
But you guys, I mean, you are comedians as well, so you make everybody laugh.
But I suppose that's what it is. I don't class myself as. I think it's where you're from, and if you're naturally funny, do you know what I mean? If it just comes naturally, I mean, because half the time, and you'll probably do it as well, P.G.M and Stu, you'll say something, or a joke will come, and it's the way you say it makes people laugh. It's your personality that comes out in jokes. Do you know what I mean? I think if someone, I'll give you a prime reason. That's why I stopped making videos and just went to live streams. Exactly what you lads have just saying. I didn't feel myself. I felt fake. You know, I'm trying to do the. So in other words, I'm trying to put humor in my videos that was staged. It didn't come naturally to me. So I stopped. So I just thought I'll stick with the live streams. That's, you know, I like what Alcy was saying. It's the interaction I prefer with.
I think with that, Shabs, and it's the same with doing live streams. It's no different because you're yourself. I mean, you come across as just yourself on a live stream. So why would that sort of like be any different on a video?
I think it's because of that. I mean? You make a video, right, and you'll do something funny, or you'll say to the kids, "Oh no, let's do that again." Well, if you do it again, that means it's and again. Oh no, Suki, let's try doing it this way. And to me, I wasn't, you know. But I think that's the same as. I mean, I know nothing about stand-up comedy. I'm not going to make it out like I do. But I think if you look at your greats, the flawless because of them being themselves. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the first and foremost, isn't it? How funny they are. I mean, you say things like, well, when me and Cy grew up, Lee Evans in England, for example, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Billy Connolly, Peter Kay. I mean, these are just natural fellas that come across, and they do what P.G.M said. They tell stories in a way, but it's the way they tell the stories, you know. So, but yeah, it can be. I mean, I'm just glad that you said what you said, though, that it didn't deter you, didn't put you off, because, you know, it's something. Even though we're funny guys, I would never do. I wouldn't have the balls to get up on stage. And
likewise. I mean, I've said that many a time. I wouldn't feel comfortable getting up there as myself and doing a 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute stand-up gig. I just wouldn't feel comfortable. But you put me on stage as a character who's got funny lines. I've not written those lines. Someone else has written those. All I'm doing is delivering the lines and trying to make it as funny as I possibly can. So, and then I'm hiding behind a character, so the nerves sort of go. But I mean, I think
you don't like how you go on a stage, Stu, when you do you'll do your acting and you'll go on stage. And I think being an actor, you'll know by going off that script. If you read that script and as an actor yourself, you look at that and think, oh, this is a great script. I think you're a lot more confident going on the stage, knowing that you've got a golden script there. And I think maybe that's the trick with stand-up. I think stand-up, if you've got an absolute golden script and it's a golden 3 minutes that's guaranteed the house bringing down, I think it eases your tension a lot more. Because,
definitely.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when Liverpool go out every weekend, knowing that they've got more salary in that team, I think it gives them a little bit more confidence. Do you know what I mean? I'm
glad you said that. So I'm gled you said that. You listened to this.
I've never watched it. So lost me there. Lost me with that L word. I was enjoying myself.
I think a lot is in the writing. A lot is in the writing, and I think once you've honed that, Pete, and once you've got a set that you're really comfortable with, and then you yourself like performing it and saying it, then the confidence will start to grow even more, and hopefully it should transcend a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I said to myself, look, I'm not going to quit. Because
why should you? No, don't.
Why should, I mean, you bomb, right? You can't help it, right? If you're going to bomb big time, right, and go out and
you've experienced that though now. So now you know how that feels when that happens. Do you see what I mean? It's like if one of us did a stream and there was 2 people in there, you carry on. You're not just going to turn it off. You're going to carry on doing it. But then you sit back and say to yourself, now I've got it. Now I know what it feels like when there's only 2 people in there. Do you see what I mean? So everything you learn off everything, even your biggest mishaps are the ones you learn from the most. So look at it that way.
Yes, favorite song Stu had to sing is my
on-stage boyfriend was called P.E. Yeah, it was P.E.'s basically premature ejaculation, and that's what I had to sing about. So yeah.
I wrote that song.
Oh dear. Yeah,
Did
that was
have a black light?
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
have a black light
Yeah.
line on it? Something?
Well,
What he's not
yeah,
telling
no,
you,
I mean,
he performed it. He wrote
it's a
it and
show.
performed it.
It's based in the I think it's the 60s or the 70s, and it had like sort of like mock-up songs of Sonny and Cher and stuff like that, and Cliff Richard. Keith, you'd like that, Keith. And so it's just that kind of like a jukebox musical, and I had to stand there and sing this, and you know there was like a couple of youngsters, well, not youngsters, they're probably young teens in the front row and stuff like that, and there's me singing about premature ejaculation. So on the first night, I'm singing it, and there's a pause in the song, and I say, "Oh, everybody experiences," and I just pointed to this kid and I go, "You know what I mean, don't you, son?" Like that. I just pointed to this kid, just off cuff. And then,
Delvin's
of
comment.
course, I thought that
comment
was
is
funny.
classic.
So then, of course, I've totally lost where I am. So then I got to try and shit the song again, and then get back into singing it. But that one, So what?
Delvin's comment. Look at Delvin's comment. It's a classic.
Did I manage? No. I finished prematurely, Delvian. I finished prematurely, Delvian. But yeah, and that was it. That's.
But to me, Stu, that for me would be harder to get up on stage, stand-up comedy. If I had to, I would have a go at, in a sense of, to get up on stage and sing. Absolute zero, no chance. That to me is the biggest balls of them all. Because like what you said, getting one note wrong or anything and just stand there and sing and perform, it's like I could never do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, I think when you were stand up, you were out there and you're on your own. That's the thing. You were on your own. Yeah. At least if I've got someone with me on stage, they can like cue me in with my next like lines or whatever. So it kind of like takes the pressure off. But it's still can be quite nerve wracking. But
that's the thing about your live streams too, is when you do that, because we're not on our own there. When you have a chat like we have on our streams, and everyone's a comedic genius in there, it keeps you going. And you see, half of my humor, I'll be honest, comes from take off the chat. Do you know what I mean? They'll bring something up, they'll say something, and we'll carry it on and so forth. So I agree with that. You're not exactly on your own like P.G.M.
But then you do well on your own anyway. The live streams that you have done on your own, the solo live streams, you've talked and you've kept it going, and it's flowed really smoothly.
It's hard though, because you always think, oh shit, I'm a boring people for an hour or so. Do you know? I always get that with that. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
See, that's what when you said that lilt, right? If I'm boring people, and it just went down. I find that very funny because it's just a
comment. What was the crowd's reaction, Pete, to your little mishap?
The crowd's reaction was on Monday was fucking crap. I got to say. I mean, you know, even though
who the fuck's this idiot?
Exactly.
I can't see him getting to stand up. He stood up.
Why is he not saying anything?
Yeah, I am actually standing up.
Bloody hell.
I saw one guy go, are you talking about me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just absolute crap audience Monday night, right? It was King's birthday weekend. No,
what's that got to do with it?
You know, it's Monday night. It's just like weekend. It's like we're here. You know, it's just like even the MC was like he didn't get a reaction to his jokes, right? It's just like the biggest laugh came from one comic, one comedian, and that was it. The rest of
was that because he was funny?
It was like so you see, it sounds like it wasn't just you then. It sounds like the went on for it all night.
Yeah, I don't think some, you know, you get audiences like that, right? So you have audiences really rowdy, right? And have a good time because you know maybe the Thursday or Friday, right, end of the week, but Mondays, you know, you have a really crap audience that doesn't want to laugh, and it's really difficult to get anybody to laugh at your jokes, even how shit they are. Some of them, right?
What time of night was it, Pete?
We started. Start time was 8:30, so we had to be in the green room around about 7:45. Right, to get our calls, and then 8:30.
I say Monday night's a bit of a strange night to have like a sort of like a comedy act sort of thing, isn't it? Because I'm assuming people go to work the following morning.
Yeah, I mean it's called Mad Meat Mondays, so it's like new comics go up and do their sets, right? And it is difficult to actually get a Monday night audience, right? Because you're right, at work on Tuesday. I don't know how they do it, but
it's the way everyone writes stuff, though, isn't it? I mean, and does stuff like Keith Knight, for example. He's a funny guy. We all know he is. But then you read one of his comments that he puts on Facebook that's long, and they have me in stitches. He's very clever at writing comedy.
Yeah,
Laugh. I couldn't do that. You know, when you sit down, and you write something funny. But Keith's a genius at writing all that down and making people laugh. I think it comes from. I think everyone's funny in the way, but it's how they approach it. You know what I mean? So.
You're right. But this Monday they weren't fucking biting. It's like fishing, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a tough night for all. We had one comedian she came off improv, right? So she was acting, right? Not doing the stand-up comedian thing, right? So, and the laughs were just non-existent, but she knew her set, right? She knew her set back to front, right? And I think there's another problem where I stood at is that, Pete, you're unprepared and you're going up on stage and you're fucking unprepared. So be prepared next time.
What was it we said the last time we did one of these? It's prepare to fail to prepare to fail. Always make sure you are fully prepared before you go up on stage. Always. Otherwise, you're not doing yourself any favors, Pete.
Might help. You know.
No.
Yeah, certainly would. Yeah. Or was it a fact that because I mean, how many times have you done this particular act now?
Probably about
so quite. Let's say quite a few. You've done it quite a few.
5, 6
Do you think
times?
Do you think it was complacency on your part? I can't know it. I'll be all right. I don't have to. Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, it was. It was complacency. I think a comedian actually said to me in the green room, "Pete, you don't go up there with with any notes. We don't see you with any notes. You don't read any notes, and you do it off the cuff, right? Because as a stubborn 55-year-old coming up to 55,
No, you're not.
So 55. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Pete, if you did go up with nights, it'd be like reeling off a roll of toilet paper, wouldn't it? Because it would be. Do you know what I mean?
Especially at my age, Stu. Yeah, getting up.
Well, no, because a normal A4 bit of paper for us would be like a toilet roll for you. Is what I'm saying.
But maybe your friend's right there, Pete. Maybe because you wing it, that's what gave you the tendency to forget what you was going to be saying. And maybe if you did have them notes, you was just quickly checking your notes before you went on, you'd go out and there'd be no forgetfulness of it. Maybe it's that. Maybe sometimes winging can blank your mind, can't it? You can have a brain fart and forget everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. Because I did have a big, massive brain fart because it's just like, I just need to be prepared, and I think I just need to actually form it in a different formula than what I've been doing. So, but still write it down and have a look at the stuff that I'm writing down. So Keith is brilliant, right? When he writes down with Facebook, right? So it's he has this big long speech.
And it always ends the same way. The fucking cunt. Always ends that way. Brilliant.
But yeah, I mean,
People have said to me for years. I mean, for years, people have said to me, I should write a book. I should write a book about all of them. Homer J. Simpson moments, like because everything. I mean, let's be honest. All my stories backfire on me, and they're not stories. That's the thing. They're not stories. They're actually, you know, they're actually true. People say there's no fucking way that could possibly be true. I promise you, it is. You know, I am the clumsiest bastard you can ever imagine. And when you think after I left the police, I was a health and safety inspector for the YMCA. Right? Yes, that YMCA in Kent, and I was a health and safety inspector. I used to go around and try and get people into work placements in local businesses. So my job was specifically going around and doing health and safety examinations. I'm a qualified health and safety inspector, and I was doing an inspection on a computer shop one day and fell down the fucking stairs. And this is an absolutely true story. I fell down the stairs, and so the manager of the shop, there's me at the bottom of the stairs, my suit, my tie, there's my clipboards over there, my pens over there, my mobile phone's over there, and he just looked down at me and he just went, "I suppose this means I've fouled, does it?" And I just went, "I haven't started yet, but not a good start, obviously." Yeah, I think I'm probably the only health and safety manager that I know that's actually sort of had an accident during a health and safety inspection. But yeah, I'm a clumsy bastard. I'm a mixture between Homer Simpson and Wile E. Coyote. If I can tread in it, or it can be dropped on my head, I'm your man. And I turn that into comedy. I turn that about, and I put it on Facebook. Because social media is so full of fucking serious shit, especially Facebook. It's become so depressing. And I just put that stuff out there to give people a laugh.
Yeah,
it's a laugh at my
I know
expense.
that feeling 100%. Yeah, we've talked about that loads of times, haven't we? Where we're just having a laugh and a joke and so forth. I think that's where me and Si's comedy comes from as well, where we are, because my mum brought 4 boys up on her own. So the stories that I've got is of Si and of our Jamie and of our Richard. You know what I mean? There's 5 years difference between us all. And some of it, we've not exactly had a quiet life, have we, Si? So you turn it into jokes, don't you? And that kind of thing. So
yeah, but that shows because you two bounce off each other really well, which is really good. And it does come across like that on screen. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, you and Georgie do as well. And Keith and his cat do. I think that's what it is. When you know somebody inside out, I think it's a northern thing as well, because we're all mostly working class up north, but you make the most of everything and you have a laugh and a joke and you turn everything funny. Do you know what I mean? It's not, me and Si, I've never took anything seriously.
I mean, to be honest, Shabby, me and George haven't bounced off each other for a while because we're just too tired. And we
right.
Getting on a bit as well. So
it's psycho with his ears. But I think that's what it comes to. If that's what I meant before at the start, if you have a natural thing and like stories or whatever, you know. But I agree with Jonathan what he said. There's 0 chance of me getting up in front of people. Yeah, I went to drama school, so I've been in plays and musical stuff like that. But I was always with a thing, and it's all recording and timing. Like what Stu says, you've got your scripts, you've got everything. You know, you learn it. So by the time you get on stage, you kind of know what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're on there, but for what you do, no way.
I suppose for me as well, I live a quiet life in a sense. You know, with being an artist, I spend a lot of time on my own, you know, especially when I'm working. And I'm not really one for noise. I don't have any children in the house or anything like that. And I think I'm one for I like the quietness of it. So when you have to come out of that sort of thing and then put a show on and stuff and be on stage, oh no, it's not for me. So I've always rounded applause for people that can do it, because it's just an ilking that I just don't have in me to do. And I always feel like I'm going to faint. I remember your wedding, Mark, when I had to do that speech in front of about 2,000 people. And he had to step in and do his own speech.
I had to do my own best man speech.
I've never fainted in my life, but I was getting black spots in my eyes. I thought, any minute I'm going to go. And that's how I felt. So it was just got so on top, so overwhelming, speaking in front of people.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I suppose you are right. I never look at it like,
because if I had to stand into a hall and say we've got 70 people watching a live stream, right? I can do that because there's not 70 people here. And when you look over to the chat, you know half the names as they are. But if I had to do this in a hall where 70 people are sat there waiting for me to go on stage, I don't think I'd do it. Do you know, it's a completely different thing.
I never asked you, P.G.M, what made you do stand-up? What actually made you go, I'm going to try this?
Good question. I wanted something. I kind of wanted to get back into acting. That's the whole reason for it, right? Right, because I mean, I wasn't doing a hell of a lot. Still not doing a hell of a lot of acting. There's no big projects here, and right, and I kind of wanted motivation to actually get back on the slightly bigger career, right? And a lot of comedians, I thought, well, some of the comedians, that's their launching pad to get some acting work, right? So I thought, well, I'll start off doing, being a stand-up comedian, right? So that was my whole premise of this idea, right? It's to, and stop being oversensitive as well, right? Stop, get that kind of feeling back where I want to make people laugh, but you got to, if you're going to be a stand-up comedian, you've got to take the jokes, right, as well. So get a little bit more confident in yourself, in myself as well, because I lacked confidence quite a lot, right? I took things so sensitively that I wanted to get out of that. So I wanted to kind of, so a number of reasons, Shabby. So basically, more of a career, right? So get out of my shell, get out of my own way, right? Change my life, I think, my direction.
Yeah.
And stop being so sensitive.
Yeah, right. That's the one thing. I mean, especially me, Keith, and Stu, we get shit every week about something, don't we? From Cliff Richard to looking like Craig David to you're wearing shirts now. Me and my long arms, the gem. I've always, I think it's growing up with four brothers. There's nothing this lot's going to say to me that I've not heard for 40 years. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing. If you can't laugh at yourself, then you've got it. I don't take anything seriously.
I think that's the first step, Shabs. Yeah. If you're willing to give out banter and banter other people, man, you've got to be able to take it back. You've got to be able to take it. And the thing is, I've always said, I've never ever taken myself seriously. I will banter with anybody. I mean, I'm not being funny. Even at work with some of my managers, I treat them exactly the same way as I treat everybody else. I just banter them, and maybe that's why I don't get anywhere in life.
But, you just ask. You just
there you go. Right. But, I mean, so I'm sitting having an interview and stuff like that, and they say to me, "Oh, so where do you see yourself in 5 years' time or 10 years' time?" I said, "Well, 5 years' time, I want to be retired, mate," sort of thing like that. And I take it as a joke, and they just look at me, and I just think, "Oh, fucking hell," again, and I say, "I haven't got the job." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's what I treat everybody the same, and I don't take myself seriously.
No.
So, and I think that's the start. You've got to. Who cares what people think or what people say? I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be hurtful, but you just got to shrug it off. You just get on, especially when you're doing.
I don't think it's ever hurtful with us, though, because I mean, I think when people I think it comes to a thing of love, doesn't it, for us, lot? Do you know what I mean? And the nicest thing about that as well is when people are so confident to say something like that in front of you. It means that you're good pals. Means that you're not going to take it offensively, and you're not going to take it the wrong way. Yeah. So I prefer it.
It's great, but you get one person bantering, and then because you take it well, everybody else jumps on and joins in, which is great. Issue. I don't mind that. That's not a problem. And if people feel comfortable to banter me, then great. Yeah. But fuck me, make sure that you're going to be good to take it back. You've got to take it back. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you just actually reminded me of myself when I didn't take jokes that well. All right, so. And now it's for me, that's good. That's good example where I've been, where I am now. Because I was talking to you in the green room. I was talking to Sai, I think last time you were on, right? That sometimes the circumstances and the situation what I was in that have changed dramatically. That I was taking things so personally because I was in a difficult situation here at home. Right, where all the dramas were going on, right? So I kind of made dramas for you, and I didn't want that, but I did anyway. So, and that's where, you know, the reason behind it, where I couldn't take jokes, was because I was being so oversensitive towards them, because I couldn't take them. I didn't understand. Where it's now, it's different. You know, I'm also getting help. Let's face it. I'll say honestly, I'm getting help with the counsellor, with trying to get out of that and trying not to take things so personally or sensitively, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's, my situation's changed so much, which is a good situation, where, you know, it's changed so much where I just want to make people laugh, and yeah, take the jokes, right? It's like you said, Si, right, that, you know, it's pointless you being on stage if you can't take the jokes and you doing stand-up. You know, it's, what are you doing, kind of thing, right? Is that kind of what you said? I don't know.
To me, you've just got to be on that crowd, because, to be fair, sometimes a heckler can get up on a stand and be twice as funny as the comedian. And the crowd will laugh twice as hard as what the heckler's saying, because the comedian's crumbling. And I believe if you're not made of that thick skin, if you can't take a joke, if you can't handle people firing things at you, you're in the wrong job being a comedian of all jobs. Do you know what I mean? Comedians basically like being the prime minister. You've got to be thick-skinned, or you know, you're going to get eaten alive. Yeah. That's the way I see it.
And you were exactly right. You're exactly right. I mean, when you said that to me, right? Because if I'm doing stand-up comedy, you know, my set, right, and making people laugh, and if I can't take the piss out of people in the audience sometimes, right, because sometimes you do, right? But with you guys, if I can't have a laugh with you guys and give the shit, right, I've got to take the shit back, all right? So, you know. And I couldn't do that, Stu, right? Back then, right? So you know, it was just like making dramas out of dramas that really weren't.
But the thing is, what you've done is you've recognised that, you've addressed it, and you're doing something about it. So that's probably one of the hardest things to do, is to recognise, right? Okay, I have an issue here. This isn't right, and you've gone and done something about it. And I think what you've done, I'm pleased for you, mate. You know, you're doing all right, and yeah, you're going to have your slip ups and stuff like that. But like you say, you're not going to knock it on the head just because of one little blip. But to change your life around in quite a short space of time, you've done all right for yourself, mate. So you know, you give yourself a pat on the back, mate. So that's
yeah, definitely, yeah. And I'd agree with what Si said earlier. About the singing, and Stu, what Stu said as well about the singing and stand up. As you know, I used to play bass in a rock band, and we used to do some songs and that I would sing lead vocals to. There was only about 2 or 3 songs that I actually sung lead vocals to. The first time I had to do it, I was shitting myself, but all the time I knew that I was up there with 5 other blokes, and if I made a mistake or if I forgot my words, you've got a lead guitarist that would have jumped in at that point and done a little fill, a little twiddly beat. You've still got musicians playing in the background, so you can kind of cover it up. You know, you can paper the cracks. But I'll tell you what, Pete, and I did that for the best part of 30 years. I've been in the music business in one way or another. For the best part of 30 years, I could not stand up on stage and tell jokes on my own in front of an audience. So I'll tell you what, mate, you are a fucking braver man than me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that now. I admire you for that. I absolutely mean that.
Didn't you say, P.G.M, that you weren't, if anybody heckles you, you're not allowed to say anything back to the crowd?
I think probably you are, because I mean, you can shut them down, right? But it's better to actually, for a new comedian, it's better to actually just ignore them, right? Because it's that's what I got taught to, right? It's, I mean, we're pretty, I'm gonna say we're pretty tame around some of the bars, because somebody comes up, like the MC comes up and says something first, like, please don't heckle these guys. Some of these guys are new. Some of these guys have been doing it only twice, and please don't shout out. Just just when they come up on stage, give them a big hurrah, hooray, and clap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of.
I suppose it would depend really on what you're saying back, wouldn't it? It's like anything. It's like anything in life. If I mean, you do see comedians bantering with the audience. The comedians will come back
you've got to be
people that are
really
heckling,
quick-witted to do that.
they'll
You've got to
go
be straight on the ball. I mean, you look at people like Ricky
you've got to
Gervais,
be.
for instance, or Jimmy Carr. I mean, they're just bang straight, rip them. That's it. And
But the other thing is, Stu, they've got God knows how many security staff protecting them. If Chummy in the audience just suddenly decides to jump up on stage, I mean, in the situation PGM's in, if he was the banter back person, can't take it. They haven't got the same sense of humour to be able to give it. You've suddenly got fucking fight in a comedy club, and this is the problem I suppose you've got. It's a bit like refereeing a football game on your own at grassroots. You've got to be so bloody careful who you upset on the football pitch, because they could be waiting in the car park for you. Premier League, they've got a police escort in and out the building. So you have to be careful. But I suppose at the same time you can banter back to them, but as long as there's got to be like an unwritten code of conduct, what you can say. I mean, you wouldn't be able to just blatantly rip someone to pieces, verbal abuse, the sort of things that I put on Facebook. You wouldn't be able to say that to somebody in the audience, because you probably wouldn't. You probably never have your back.
There has been a couple guys on stage who just slightly in slight remark go, fuck you with an audience member, right? So but in a comical way, right? So not a mean and nasty way, because he's commented, right? So we get other comedians saying, where are you from? And somebody goes, I'm from USA. And
you just look at it. So I do YouTube though. YouTube to me is not real life. It's a form of escapism. I pay my bills, my kids are all this, blah blah blah, and I come in like that. And so, every video I've made over the past 5.5 years, I've always strive just to put a smile on somebody's face, just to make somebody happy. Oh, Shabby's here, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. The reason I'm saying that is because if I ever got a bad comment, or I ever got someone in one of the live streams giving it all, I wouldn't care less. Do you know what I mean? I'm still sleeping that night. It wouldn't play on me. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I got this guy in, and I'd turn it into a joke with the lads, and the lads would turn it into a joke faster than I would. Do you see what I mean? And I think I think it comes to the same way as you. When someone does heckle you and so forth, A, you don't know, and B, you don't know what the name is, who they are, and all that sort of stuff. And I find it easy for people to be in an audience or sat at home on the keyboard giving shit to the people that are actually getting off their ass and doing something. Do you see what I mean? That's the way I look at it. So
because it can knock you sideways, couldn't it? Anything like that can just knock you so off kilter, so off form, So again, that's why I believe you've got to be of some ilk to do that. You've got to be like thick-skinned, even to a point of narcissist. You've got to be of that sort of ilk, haven't you?
You have to be honest. I agree.
Well, there is one 5-minute set that I want to show you, because you missed out last time, so I want to show that. So let's get into it. So I'll put it up. Okay, video, and bear with me. I will find it. And this was a kind of, let's find it, a little bit of a train wreck of itself, but it's funny. So here it is, guys. I hope I got the right one.
So our next comedian is coming up. He's relatively new. So what do you do for our new comedians? Excellent. So I want you to keep that going for Peter McKinnon.
G'day. Thank you. How's it going? Well, yes. Well, I hope what was I wearing? Good tonight, because I am, because I'm now living in Wellington and not down south anymore. Yes. I am from Nelson City. They called it. They still call it Nelson City. It's more like a town now. You know, that's what they deem it as. But for me, really, it's more like a village. No, I stand corrected. It's a village. And I'm going to bore you with some really dumb history.
The same fucking
Really,
thing.
really dumb history. So be prepared to be bored out of your fucking mind. Right. What it used to be is they travelled on the 1700s in a ship. It was called Russell. No Jack in front of it. That's our Jack Russell. Get it? But called Russell.
There's a P.G.M. joke right there.
There was a P.G.M. joke right there, yeah.
Russell. These people were all on the ship called
It's terrible, terrible.
even the prostitutes, the dogs, the cats, even the rats and the chickens were all called Russell.
I'm going to take so much good shit.
Imagine
Probably.
these people walking down a beach inlet, saying to each other, "Oh, g'day, Russell. Hello, Russell. Russell." That's my sorry, bad chicken impression. But that's why I got out of there. That's why I got out of there. I don't want to be.
Bad chicken impression.
Sorry, that's. I just realised what I just said then. In Russell. Sorry, in and out.
Fucking hell.
And then I took off. Yes, I took off into Wellington. I was going to be one hell of a leading man. Look at me. Yes. Oh, thank you. But I was relegated to bit parts. A bit parts actor. Well, I wasn't any good. I wasn't Tom Cruise, and he's my height. Well, I ventured off into Wellington. Still here. I was still here, actually. Not ventured off. I was still here. And I got discovered in a bank. A bank of all places. Yes. They took one look at me and they said, "He'll be great as a hobbit." And before I knew it, I was in Samwise Gamgee's wedding as a wedding guest. Yes, a wedding guest. Oh, it continues from there. I went into oh God, I'm getting stuffed up. That's how actors and extras do. They stuff up their lines continually. So I might as well do it here. And then I got to do the Hobbit thing. I was Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, as the same Hobbit. My frickin' range is brilliant, isn't it?
That was good.
My career took off then. It took off. And then I was going to be in one of the awesomest movies of this century, Mortal Legends, which didn't go nowhere. This was going to be my biggest break. Greatest break. They put me in front of the camera. I was in there. Then Peter Jackson stood up from the camera and said, "No, we can't use this guy. His face is too unusual." Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was half funny and half funny. See, the thing is, for me, half of that was funny, but the first half, it lost me because it's all about New Zealand and places of New Zealand. And so for me, outside of your town, outside of New Zealand, that would be a joke that wouldn't travel, would it? Because it's like, Keith telling the joke around his end, I wouldn't get that, or Scuba telling the joke about his end, I wouldn't get that. And,
Yeah. You're right.
but
Actually,
yeah,
right.
it seems like the more you got into like your flow of it, and the more you got into your Lord of the Rings thing, you just settled right in, didn't you? Really?
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I did there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, the international people who come in, would not know anything about Russell or Nelson or anything like that. So, and you got to be wary because there are people who, come from New Zealand, right, who live in. But even they don't know, right, what the hell I'm talking about. So I based that Russell joke purely off the silly voices like Reese Darby used to do on stage, right? So with his funny New Zealand accents up here, kind of deal, so that's where I based that joke off, and where I used to live wasn't called. I'm gonna get shit from this again, which is okay. Russell, who the fuck is Russell? Yeah, thanks, mate. Which I quite enjoy. It's good. So yeah, it's I was quite. I thought to myself, sorry, that this is not going well, but I played on that. Where I didn't play on that on Monday, which I should have, but I didn't. So, so that's, and I had a little bit, if you noticed, I was free flowing there a little bit more. I got into doing it not like a set performance, but a conversation, I think. So, and that was my last video thing I did. So I'm gonna have to actually watch my videos back every time I do these things, so I know. And that's where I fell down, maybe. Sorry, and everybody, that maybe I didn't watch videos that I did before. So
So I mean, I'm assuming you've got all your set written down. You've got it all written down as well.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact remains that the panic came into play, right? The sheer panic, the sheer where did this nervousness come from? So
do you start all your gigs off the same way, with the same? You keep it exactly the same. You didn't try and change anything, do anything differently this time round to might have thrown you or.
I thought I'd just do the whole the set like I did when you first saw it, like the graduation set, right? So
yeah.
And I didn't have any notes with me. But mind you, I did actually look at my set and say, like, "Okay, Pete, you're prepared." But when I went up on stage, just this whole fucking panic came over me, and I'm going, "Where the fuck is this coming from?" So, and I completely lost it. I completely went blank. So, and it happens. It happens, right?
Yeah.
So,
It does. Yeah.
I just wondered if it was something that you've done differently and stuff like that. I'll give you an example. So I was doing a show, and for the whole rehearsal period for about 4 or 5 months, we were doing the same thing over and over again. So I know when to say a certain line because the person opposite me does a certain action. She gives you a little push, and then when she gave me that push, then I would say the line. And up until the show, that's exactly what was happening. So we, 3 or 4 shows in, we were doing that. And I've got to take some responsibility as well. But there's this one show, she didn't do that action. She didn't push me. She said the lines, but she didn't push me. But because I was so used to that action being exactly the same, I was like stood there waiting for her to say a line. She'd already said it. So then the prompt jumped in and said my line. And I was like, fucking brilliant. So then I said my line. And I said to her after we got off stage, I said, what was that? She goes, I fancy changing up. I was like, no. We've been rehearsing this for God knows how long. We've got it down to a fine art. We've got it down to a T. I feed off your responses and stuff like that. So don't fucking change it loud.
Yeah.
And it made me look an idiot because it made me look like I forgot my line. Although she said a line, I would have been listening. But because you've got to listen as well as be aware of what's going on around you. So because that changed, it threw me. I just wondered if there was something that's similar to you, Pete, that kind of you changed, which threw you a little bit and made you panic.
I think probably there is something into that, because I think when I was listening to these comics go up and do it how they do it their way, right? Very natural way of doing comedy, right? It's like again, repeat myself, like a conversation, and they tell their jokes very free flowing, right? And here's me doing the same old kind of set on that style of mine, right? Where you just actually witness there and bits and pieces on that set. I thought, well, you know, I'll do my normal set, but I really want to do it like a conversation. That didn't work out. So maybe that was, I was trying to implement what they do for me, and it wasn't working. So
Yeah.
you know, maybe there's a sense of jealousy in there as well. So that could
Yeah,
be.
but you shouldn't be, because I mean, these people been doing it for a long time. Don't ever base yourself on anybody else. Don't ever be jealous of anybody else. Get your set, do it, and stick with that set until you're confident enough to do it, to carry on doing it, and then make tweaks and changes. Otherwise, you're just going to end up throwing yourself. And what you don't want to happen is a repeat of what happened on Monday, where you try and change things and it just throws you, because you don't want that.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna have a look, like, back at my videos, and just trying to analyze them in a good way, to say that what I need to actually work on. So, and that's what comedians usually do. New comedians, they look at their videos back, right? But again, it's a good learning curve. Bombing this big time, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was, I thought, well, fuck, if I can do that and then change it into jokes and another set, full on. It's liberating, actually.
No, it's the right attitude to have. It's the right attitude to have, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sitting here dwelling on it. You're sitting here thinking, yeah, I can use that. I can use that. So,
it's got to be. I think it's got to be fun, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth, with the stand up, and anything you do, even with your YouTube channel, right? You're going to take the rough with the smooth.
No,
right?
not me. I'm perfect. Every one of them is.
Oh yeah, we know, Chevy. Your hairline products are going.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Listen, you've done it a few times. You've come off of certain streams and you're like, oh man, that was, or if you have a guest on that's not 100% or not on for it or this and that, and you sometimes that sucks the life out of you, or if it doesn't go as well as you think. And there's so many things, but the thing about it is you learn from stuff like that. You sit back and think, well, maybe I'll use that next time, maybe I won't use that next time. And that's the thing. If you've recorded these stand-ups that you have, one of the things I would do is watch your very, very first one and watch your latest one.
Yeah.
And in between that, you'll see the massive difference. And it's the same as YouTube. Remember when you first did your very first YouTube video? It's awful, isn't it? I don't care who you are, everybody's first YouTube video is terrible. And you can see the progression. After months and years go by, you get a lot used to it, and that's the thing. All it is, it's like what Keith said to you before. You're relatively new at this. You've done 9 sets. By the time you've done 109, you're going to be a completely different person.
That's why I like the community here, because you're such a funny bunch, right? I'm funny looking and funny, so I've got 2 going for me. Jack Russell joke. Although again,
that was pretty good. That was definitely a P.G.M joke, the Jack Russell one. That was, I was waiting for their signature P.G.M, and that was definitely it.
At that point, you should have asked the audience if they were dog lovers, and then told them
this again.
Dog lovers joke. Come on, it works every time. It works every time. And the Tom Cruise, when you compared yourself to Tom Cruise, you could have gone off a bit of a tangent and gone, yeah, Tom Cruise, who is he? I don't need to wear platform shoes to be this tall, or something like that, Throw in little lines, just go off on little tangents,
Yeah, I did that with the lifts. I think in one set. I think because he wears lifts. Tom Cruise wears lifts, and I continued a wee bit. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have fun with it, like Bob Hansen said in the stream, right?
Yeah.
It's like the first year you're gonna have so much fun doing this. So you know,
I think you'll learn a lot in the first year as well. Definitely, you'll definitely learn a lot. I mean, I was going to ask you, do you get any feedback? You know, the guys that you went and trained with, and you went to that academy or whatever it was you went to, and stuff like that, and graduated. Do you get any feedback from them at all?
Yeah, you used to, but they're all got different things to do, got different lives, you see, so they're really, really busy. So we used to actually sit down and have writing sessions. We don't anymore because they're doing other things.
Okay.
They've got lives as well, so
it's a unique form of entertainment, though. It's like a song that Keith loves. I might fucking hate it. It's the same as comedian. Maybe it was just that one audience. Maybe if you had a different type of audience in there, they'd laugh the bollocks out. You know what I mean? It depends who your jokes are feeding off. Do you see what I mean?
I think it's down to like I said, I gave myself a very, very severe tongue lashing. I think it's down to actually I've got to prepare. I've got to look at the videos. I've got to actually say, you know, water for fucking duck's back. You bombed big time. Had fun with it. Still have fun with it, and keep on doing it. That's simple as that. So,
exactly. Listen, it's easy for people to say, "Oh, you better not do that." You do what you have to do. Do you know what I mean? You carry on doing it too already and decide. I've always said it when it comes to the YouTube and the entertaining thing. If there ever becomes a day that I don't want to do it anymore, and you never know, it could be tomorrow, it could be 10, 20 years from now. But if there's a day I think, you know what, I'm done. I want to look back at the whole experience I have as fun. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. That was a great time. That's why I don't make videos slating people or having a go at people or being bad tempered. I always do it when I'm having a laugh and a joke. You know what I mean? And I think that's why people come on each other's streams as well, because it's either a pub quiz, ZSR, Tub Thumpers, whatever. When it's entertaining and people having a good time and you feel safe and secure with your friends, like you started off this thing by saying, that gives you more confidence to come out and do stuff and so forth. Do you know what I mean? And I think you are right when it comes to people around us like that, because none of these lads as well are not going to say any different to you. If they find it funny, they'd say it. If they didn't, they'd say that too. Do you see what I mean? And it's how you take that on board and say, actually, I'll learn from that and I'll do it from there.
But I would also say this, Pete. I don't know about you, Stu, but I think it applies to a lot of us that have got up on stage and done it, if you like. I mean, I know I was only a bass player, so fortunately I could spend most of the time sat at the back, stood at the back by the drummer, just doing what I'm doing. The spotlight's never on the bass player, and that's the way I liked it, quite frankly. But I used to always get I wouldn't call it stage fright, but I would get nerves. I mean, we played the Marquee, the old Marquee in London. That was one of the last gigs that I did with my band, and I was absolutely shitting myself. Now I've been by that time I've been playing for like 30 years, or 25 years. But I had serious butterfly, and I always used to say to people, the day that I stop getting butterflies before I go on stage is the day that I quit, because that means that it's become complacent. It's become a job. So never stop those nerves. Keep those nerves. Those nerves are a good thing to have.
Yeah, but I've got I like that very much because
what you've got to do though, Pete. Sorry, mate. Sorry to cut you off. What you've got to do though, Pete, is you've got to turn those butterflies into dragons. That's what you've got to do. Them butterflies backstage, when you get out there, you are a dragon with wings and you're breathing fire. Those butterflies have turned into dragons, and you are out there now and you're fucking giving it that, and you are giving it your best. But don't ever lose those butterflies, because if you lose the butterflies, then that's
honestly,
when
I agree with what he says, Pete. I agree with what Pete says. Not Pete.
So do I. But I've got to let the butterflies work with me instead of against me, because that's where it was. Because it was the work.
The nerves and the panic were working against me. Not
I mean, you could say. I mean, the thing is, it's like when I did my first show, I can remember I had my arm like I was doing a Des T actually, leaning on a piano, and my hand was literally fucking like that. I was shaking like that, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" Do you know what I mean? The curtains went back. I was on stage, and I was like, "Yeah," and you just get straight into it, and it just went. And I feel sick to the stomach every time I went on stage. I get sick to the stomach every time I get up and do a karaoke song. I get sick to the stomach every time I do a live stream. I get the butterflies big time. And then once you get into it and the adrenaline kicks in, and that's what you got to do. You got to let the adrenaline kick in and just take it from there. Because sometimes I come off from doing a show or a karaoke or a live stream, and I feel absolutely flipping knackered afterwards. And not because it's been an intense live stream or an intense show, but because the adrenaline kicks in so much, it takes a lot out of you, and you just come out feeling knackered. So you've got to turn those butterflies into adrenaline to fuel you to go forward, and not have it any other way. Like you say, you've got to make it work for you.
We was doing one gig at a pub called the Royal Standard in Walthamstow in East London, and it's a very small stage for a bass player, and bass guitars are longer than standard guitars. So I was standing right on the edge of the stage. Well, you know what's coming next, don't you? Halfway through one of our songs, I fell off the fucking stage. It's probably only about 18 inches, 2 feet, and I fell off the stage. Well, the band was professional enough to carry on playing, albeit they were pissing themselves laughing. And you can imagine the sound that made, because my bass was still plugged in. So you can imagine the sound it made when it hit the floor. Well, I got myself back up and sorted myself out and got back on the stage. I was a little bit bruised and battered, but I was still able to play. Got to the end of the song, and the lead singer just literally turned around and looked at me and looked straight at the audience and went, "Well, that's the best bass guitar solo he's ever fucking done." and that immediately turned that into comedy. It turned it into comedy, and I felt about this big. I felt tiny. I felt like a right cunt, basically. But the lead singer turned it into comedy. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was great, and we got on with it. And so these things happen. These things happen. A stage is there to perform on. A stage is also there for you to have the spotlight on you when you fuck up. So you've got to be prepared for both all the time. All the time.
I mean, plus you've got, I didn't come home and fucking cry about it, right? I did, I'm.
No,
so it's.
Your attitude is fine. Your attitude is fucking spot on, mate. The fact that you said you came out there, you didn't piss and whine, you went straight out, smiled all the way through, and then you're getting back up there and doing it again. That's brilliant, mate.
That was comical. That was comical in itself, right? Going in the green room, going, open the door, go right out the bar, say goodbye to Jerome, who owns the bar. Just walk out the door. Keep on walking.
No, that's brilliant, mate. I'll tell you, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I could not do what you're doing. Honestly, I would freeze. I could have the greatest script on earth, and I'd go out there and I'd freeze. I would freeze, And yet I can rant on Facebook. I can rant on here when we have our chats. Me and Catherine sat here some nights, and I'm watching something on telly, and I'll go into a 15-minute tirade and by that time it's gone on a tangent of. It's no longer about the TV program. It's about something else. And it's about the neighbour. And it's about the neighbour's dog. Then it's about the tree at the end of the neighbour's garden that I don't like because it scares me when it's dark and it looks like a monster when you look against the moonlight at it. And then by the time I've got to the end of my tirade, I forgot the fucking point of what I was trying to say in the first place. So I go deadly quiet and then just walk away.
So it's not about EastEnders.
So
it's not about EastEnders.
And Kat will say to me, you finished? You finished now, right? You finished? Finished? And in the meantime, by the way, she's paused the telly so she doesn't have to miss her program that she's watching. But if I had to stand up in front of an audience and do that, I would freeze. I guarantee it. So, mate, Pete, I admire your balls. Yeah. Maybe next time you should do your flies up.
Maybe that was it. I had my fly down. So, yeah. So. Guys, thank you very much. Let's call it there.
Thank you.
There will be more thanks for the chat. I know you're listening. That's great. Fantastic. There will be more. So when I film another one and do what I need to do for another round of sets, these guys will be notified and they can jump on with me again and have a good discussion.
I'm more than happy to come on the phone, Pete.
I'm
More
not.
than happy to join you, mate.
I love you guys. You're a great community.
No, thanks for inviting us on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give you props because you are the funny guys, top thumpers. Go and watch them. I know all you guys in the chat. Know these guys. Sign Shabby, top thumpers, top 5. Go and subscribe to these guys if you haven't already, because you probably have. That's great, fantastic. Tell your friends to sub to these guys. And new top thumpers is coming up. I hear, guys.
30th of June. 30th of June. We've got Damon on. So the first ever guest on Tub Thumpers is coming back to kick off season 4. So yeah, we've got Damon on it. And then on Monday, if I can just plug it, I've got Stu and Martin. So I've got Stu, me and you've been on a few streams together this week. Do you know what I mean?
We have, haven't we? We have.
So I've got Stu and Martin on top 5, and then Simon has genuinely offered to help me co-host. I've got a really good one on Wednesday. We're going to go through Keith's oh my god, Playmobil stuff. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Awesome. So we're gonna that's gonna be cool.
An hour so on our Keith's customs and where his love for Playmobil comes from and all that. So if you can watch that, that'd be great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Stu,
yes,
not this weekend, but next weekend he's starting back up with Zoe with the pub quiz, right?
Yes. I'm glad you put the pub quiz afterwards, because when you said about starting up with Zoe, I was like, oh, hello, what's going on here? But yes, the pub quiz with Zoe. Yes, this will do. Yes.
Oh, that's right. You're in London this weekend.
Yeah. We are in London. London. Well, we're lunching tomorrow with Martin and Steph here. So we're lunching tomorrow, yes. And then on Sunday, we're going up to London. They've got no idea what we're doing. So, yeah.
Awesome. We'll talk about it Monday. We'll have a good chat.
Yeah.
And Stu, the week after, I'm on the quiz group.
You are. You're on with.
I'm on the quiz with you.
Scott Whitehouse
and I am
Tez. Fucking hell. And so obviously, Kat, your wife was going to be in it, but she went on the first week. So it's going to be Kat Vader's girl going to be stepping in. She's going to be doing it.
Oh, good.
And I promise you, I shall wear a bright, loud shirt.
Thank you.
No.
So you
need
you need to keep it up.
Oh, yeah.
You need to keep it up. Oh, wear a Sylvester.
Yes.
Oh no, because then I'll get goosed.
Yeah.
Or Keith, you're always more than welcome to wear your Craig David outfit.
He said that.
I'll tell you what, if you keep on taking the piss out of me about being called Craig David, I'm just going to be walking away.
Oh, no.
Hey, very good.
No, you keep doing what you're doing, P.G.M. We're all proud of you, mate. We all think what you're doing is great.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's helping your confidence. It's helping everything for you. So not only are you doing something you enjoy, it's also helping you, health-wise. So I'm really proud of you. I am.
Yeah, well done, mate.
I think it's,
my last word on the fact is like you walked away, like you said, you felt like you wanted a hole to swallow you up. But in the meantime with that, you've not said, I'm not doing that again. You've actually come home and you've gone, do you know what? I'm going to use that as my sketch. Yeah. All that tragedy and all that worry and all that like blowout I had last week, I'm going to put together. Well, that means that you're going to go again next week. And I think opening that door and getting back on that stage speaks more volumes than it does walking off it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, you're incredibly right. Yeah, I mean, I am not, I say to myself, I am not going to give up just because I fucking flopped. I mean, come on. It would waste what I've been.
P.G.M. When you get to our age, mate, it flops all the time. It's life. Just don't worry about it. Don't let it get to you.
And that's not a joke. That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, Stu, it's literally and figuratively singing a song on stage, isn't it? Premature ejaculation, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
well, there you are. Well, those were the days. Yeah.
How I yearn for that.
and Stu, I mean, we don't take it personally that you look like Jeff Bezos's rocket, Blue Origin. So,
Jeff Bezos' rocket. How
yeah.
does he look like Jeff Bezos' rocket?
I'm not being funny, but it comes
I
along.
think he's
in
talking about a
funny.
certain member of my anatomy.
Got you.
Now look at him here. He looks like when you order Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon off Temu. P.G.M turns up. With his Lethal Weapon hair.
Ah, with his Lethal Weapon hair.
He's got hair like Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon.
Oh, sorry.
If they ever do a remake and call it Slightly Harmful Water Pistol, then people pay them all big Gibson.
Not a Lethal Weapon. Or just Weapon.
Weapon.
Oh, brilliant.
You can have all that, Pete. You stand up, you can have all of it. You can have it.
That's yours, P.G.M. That's yours.
I should do this then, sorry. I should do this.
You should.
Because let's be fair, that was a lot funnier than Jack Russell, wasn't it? So you can have all that. No problem. If you keep
But that's
that
the
in.
thing, P.G.M. You said before, you're surrounded by funny people. Take what people say. Take elements and little stories and little bits and put them all in, you know. Then it comes naturally, doesn't it?
Yeah, take everything I say. So then when you're dead rich and stuff, I can claim you for royalty.
It's like
Go back to these streams about 5 years ago. See, look at all the evidence. See?
I knew that was going to come out. So, yeah.
Sean even invited to Blackpool to perform on the pier.
Yeah. It'll be Cy heckling him. Fuck off!
Jack Russell.
Hiya, Mel.
Get a haircut, you fucking hippie. Yeah.
Is that Mel Gibson?
Is that Mel Gibson?
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
The fundamental difference is though between P.G.M and Mel Gibson is that we actually like P.G.M and he's a nice guy. Mel Gibson on the other end, actually,
Yeah, because I'm not anti-Semitic. Yeah.
start slagging off the English.
He's got a point, though. He's got a point, as Arbel.
Yeah.
Bloody Australian American. Yeah.
I think the reason why Mel Gibson don't like the English is obviously at some point he's just crash landed in East London and he's met people like me and that's what it is and he's just thought fuck this. Oh, yeah. Don't like the
Don't
English.
back to America and say he's weird. He's a funny bloke. Why? He's got this dodgy tree in his neighbour's garden. Freak me out. Do you know what I mean?
Don't even get me started on his dog. Don't even get me started on his dog. My cats sit on top of my cats all line up on top of his shed having a wash, and his dog's down there in the garden, fucking like the Tasmanian devil, going absolutely frantic, open their mouth and barking like, and all the cats are up there going.
Brilliant.
Well, we're going to finish it there with Keith licking his fucking. So, see everybody. Goodbye.